Hey guys, and welcome to another video. In this one, it should be pretty short and sweet. This one's a pretty simple one, okay? We're going to be having a look at different networking tools and their purposes. That's the goal for today. We're going to be having a look at all these different networking tools, when you would use them, why you would use them, and what they do. We should be able to pump this out. I'll tell you everything you need to know. I'll tell you the kind of questions they might ask on your exam, and then I'll give you some practice questions to have a go at the end. So let's chuck my glasses on and get straight into it, because I want you guys to pass this thing sooner rather than later. The first tool that you need to know about is called a crimper. Okay, now if we zoom in, I just did a quick Google image search here. Crimper looks like this, right? You would have the cable. You would have your, let's say your Ethernet cable, just for example. In here, you would place it inside, and it's going to do something. Okay, what it's going to do is it's actually going to connect this connector. Let's say you're doing an Ethernet cable, an RJ45 connector. You have your cable, and right, you've got your cable here, you've got your connector here. A crimper will put the connector onto the cable itself. All right, it will actually connect the cable to the connector. So if you want to go from having just a wire to actually having a connector on the end of that, you're going to use a crimper, right? So a crimper is, in fact, a hand tool used to attach connectors such as your RJ45 to the ends of cables. Okay, you're attaching the connectors to the cables. That's pretty much it. I don't have to go on about it much more than that. The cable stripper is going to be the next one that you need to know about. Now, a cable stripper is essentially, if you have your cable, you want to connect it to an RJ45 connector or whatever connector it is you're connecting. But first you have to expose the wires so that you can actually connect the connector to the wires. A cable stripper does just that. So you've got your wire, you would use a cable stripper, as we point out here, to expose these wires. That is what a cable stripper does, right? Cable stripper looks something like this, looks something like this, looks something like this. Just a quick Google image search, something like this. You use that device to expose those cables underneath. You strip back the outer coating of the cable so that you can place that connector on top. All right, that's what you use a cable stripper for. So a cable stripper removes the outer insulation of a cable without damaging the internal wires. That's pretty much it, guys. You do that if you want to then prepare it to place a connector on there, right? You're preparing it for that connection of whatever connector you are putting on. All right, so good stuff. Let's move on to the next one, which is a Wi-Fi analyzer. Guys, look, Wi-Fi analyzer is something that is going to produce an output like this. All right, I'm sure even just from having a look at this kind of output, you can have a think about what this might be doing. All right, that's right. I'm sure you've already guessed it. We've got Bob here. Bob has his Wi-Fi analyzer right there. There it is. And he's walking through an area that has multiple different access points. And he's using his Wi-Fi analyzer to see what channel are they on, right? How are they operating? He's using that to have a look at the wireless internet, analyze the wireless internet in order to get information he needs. And it produces an output that looks something like this. All right. You can see the channel widths, what channel different access points are set to, things to that effect. All right. So as it says here, a Wi-Fi analyzer is a software or hardware tool that scans wireless networks to identify signal strength. You can see how strong those signals are, any interference, and also what channels they are using. All right, so you can use that to optimize your Wi-Fi performance by identifying the best channel to use, right? If you've got 3 access points, one set to 1, one set to 11, you know the next one should be set to 6, for example. Covered that in another exam objective. If you don't know why, maybe go back and check that one out. All right, so that's a Wi-Fi analyzer. Not much more to say about that. A toner probe is the next one. So look, I think this one is best taught by just walking you through it, right? It looks like this. Okay, so you've got the device over here, something like this. You've got these 2 different devices, all right? And we've got Mark over here. He's trying to find a cable, right? He's really trying to find a cable. What he would do here is he would attach one end to this end of this Ethernet cable, right? This is the one that he wants to locate. He wants to find where this is on the other end. So he would attach one end to this end of the cable, and it's going to insert a tone like an audible tone that's going to travel up that wire. So that way, when he goes to the other end of the wire, he can use the other part of that device, the toner probe, to connect it to the wires. And eventually, he's going to connect it to the correct wire where his device will have a tone. And he will say, oh, this is the same wire that I connected it to on the other end. This is the wire I'm looking for. Okay, a toner probe will help you to, as it says here, trace and identify cables in a bundle or through a wall. All right, toner probe helps you identify if you've got a whole bunch of cables. It makes it really easy to follow it to the other end. You can attach one end, it will produce the tone, and then you can go to the other end and tap it on each of the wires, and when you hit the correct wire, it will produce a tone on the other end, and you'll know that's the wire I'm looking for. Okay, so the next one is a Punchdown tool. Now, this one, guys, right, looks something like, where's a good example? It looks something like this, right? You've got basically a large amount of wires being terminated on a block that's being terminated on a Punchdown tool. So a Punchdown tool is used to terminate wires into patch panels or punch-down blocks. Not all patch panels use a Punchdown tool, particularly, a punch-down block, particularly nowadays. Largely, you just plug in the Ethernet connector and it kind of does it on its own. But we still need to know about this. You're using a Punchdown tool, which looks like this. Right? You're just placing it over the wire and punching it down into the punch-down block, which is over here, in order to terminate it, right? And that is what it's used for. Basically, Punchdown tool terminates an Ethernet cable, or the cable you're talking about, Ethernet cable, into the Punchdown block. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know about a Punchdown tool. Okay. Next one is a cable tester. As it says here, a cable tester verifies the integrity and functionality of network cables. So essentially, right, it might look something like this. You would plug in your cable into the port, at which point you might get an output that might tell you, yes, your cable is correctly configured. The wires are coming out of the right places. They are working in the right way. Or you might get an output that says, no, they're not wrong, they're not correct. And in fact, often it will actually show you the exact layout of the cables, and you'll be able to see, oh, okay, these particular cables are in the wrong spot. Now I need to go back and fix that to make this thing work. Right. So long story short, though, a cable tester is a tool that allows you to verify the integrity and functionality of network cables. So it checks issues such as continuity, shorts, or miswiring. All right. So if you want to make sure if your cable is working, you would use a cable tester to do that. That's pretty much what you need to know. One of the last ones, if not the last one, is a loopback plug. All right. A loopback plug looks like something like, where's a good one? Something like, it could look like any of these really, but the main premise is, I think it's well outlined by this. The main premise is you're plugging the one plug into the port, and what that is doing is it's redirecting the signal back to the device it came from. Why would you want to do that? Because you're troubleshooting. You want to see if your device can send data and if it can also receive data. Particularly, you want to see if that particular port is capable of doing that. So it allows you to troubleshoot and check, okay, data might not be coming through this port. So what I'm going to do is insert a loopback plug to see, okay, is this port sending data and also is it receiving data? It may only be doing one of those things, and that might be why you're having an issue. So it helps you troubleshoot there, which is why it says testing the functionality of network ports is what it's good for, and diagnosing connectivity issues in network devices. All right, so that's what a loopback plug is good for. Now, I think the last one, definitely, I'm pretty sure the last one, network tap. Long story short, guys, it's good for monitoring your network performance and security. What a network tap is, you've got your cable, right? You can place your network tap in the middle, and it's going to collect all of the packets, all of the data traveling there. And it's going to collect that and store it. So you'll be able to go through and actually see what data is traveling over this network. So it allows you to capture packets for analysis and troubleshooting or forensic investigations. Really, what you just need to know is a network tap allows you to capture the traffic going over a network in order to analyze it at a later time. Okay, that's pretty much it. So if you're thinking, oh man, I wonder what traffic is going over my network, I wish there was some way of capturing it. There is. It's called a network tap. Okay, so it might look like something like this, right? You just place it in the middle, just a quick Google image search, place it in the middle to collect that data. Okay, we're going to do some practice questions now. So look, before we do that, guys, basically for all of this, for your exam, you'll likely just be given a situation which would ask you or require you to say, here's a scenario, which of the following tools should be used? Or here's a person doing some troubleshooting, just which tool are they using based on what the description is that's been given? All right, that's the kind of question you need to answer. So we'll go through a few practice questions. The first one is, during the installation of a new office network, Liam is responsible for preparing several Ethernet cables before plugging in the RJ45 connectors. To do this, he uses a handheld tool to carefully remove the protective outer jacket of the cable without damaging the delicate inner wires. Which network tool is Liam using? A. Crimper. B. Cable stripper. C. Wi-Fi analyzer. Or D. Toner probe. Pause the video if you need time. I'm going to go ahead and move on. 3, 2, 1. It is B. Cable stripper, right? He's preparing it before putting on the connector. Okay, so that act of preparing it, stripping back that wire, you use a cable stripper to peel back that insulation or jacket of a network cable before you can then use a crimper to actually attach the connector, right? Hopefully we got that one right. If not, maybe go back, watch the video again. Okay, so the next question reads, a network consultant has been tasked with performing a wireless site survey at a newly constructed corporate office. His goal is to measure signal strength, monitor channel utilization, and identify interference patterns across the building's floors to optimize the placement of wireless access panels. Which tool is the consultant most likely using? A. Crimper. B. Cable stripper. C. Wi-Fi analyzer. Or D. Toner probe. Your answer coming in 3, 2, 1. Pause the video if you need to. Here we go. Your answer is C. Wi-Fi analyzer. So again, guys, Wi-Fi analyzers analyze wireless networks for interference, what channels they're using, the strength of the signal, things to that effect. They help you troubleshoot wireless networks. All right. Your next question reads, at a new corporate campus, Maya is in charge of setting up the structured cabling system in the network closet. After running several Ethernet cables from different office areas, she needs to terminate these cables onto a patch panel. Instead of manually stripping and twisting the wires, she utilizes a special tool designed to insert and secure each cable's conductor into the corresponding insulation displacement connectors on the panel. Which network tool is Maya using? A. Punchdown Tool. B. Cable tester. C. Loopback plug. Or D. Network tap. Answer in 3, 2, 1. Pause the video if you need more time. Here we go. It is a punch-down tool, guys. A punch-down tool is what you use to terminate those wires into a punch-down block. All right, that's what you need to know. Now, look, we get the picture, right? There's a bunch of questions, and you need to identify the troubleshooting tool, okay? I think you get it. I'm not going to go through them all, but what I will tell you is that's just some of the questions that you can get in my learning guide. But first, if you want, you can go ahead and grab your free practice exam. Link will be in the description or in the pinned comment below. In that, you have got 3 performance-based questions, 90 multiple choice questions, and if you want to go even further, the learning guide that I have for you for the A+ 220-1201 is on my website. Link again in the description, also in the comments below. You've got the full learning guide breaking everything down by exam objectives. You've got 3 full-length practice exams with performance-based questions. You've got an interactive troubleshooting performance-based question simulations, and you've got spreadsheets to track your progress. This guy said my notes definitely helped him pass his test today, so it's helping other people. It can help you too, right? Absolutely. Now, here's a snippet of what you get. You get everything broken down by exam objective. So you can see I go right by the exam objective and even further by the individual exam objectives and even further into the dot points of the exam objectives, okay? So you can really get down into the nitty-gritty details and make sure you're learning exactly what you need to for your exam. For all of that, you get multiple choice questions broken down by exam objective, answers broken down by exam objective, 11 performance-based questions at the end, and you get your performance-based question simulation for the troubleshooting component, which is by far the most difficult as far as I'm concerned, and also takes up most of the exam. So you can click on those, which will take you to a section for that particular type of troubleshooting. For this one, you can click on these guys. Every person has a problem that needs to be solved. You can solve problems relating to different types of printers. I also give you so much in here, guys. There's like so much. I can't even believe it myself, and I made it. I also give you a video that allows you to do 10 times your learning with free AI tools. I tell you how to locate your weak spots and then use free AI tools to really, with pinpoint accuracy and super efficiently and effectively, completely just make sure you close those gaps really quick. Look at me, guys. I'm waiting in there for you. I'm like, hey, why aren't you in here yet? I'm waiting on you. Please come on over. And I also give you a video outlining how to use multiple choice questions to actually study for your exam, because most people don't do it the right way. Most people think they do, but then they don't do it, and then they get in there and then they fail. So I really kind of walk you through exactly what you want to be trying to do in order to pass this thing. Again, I'm waiting in there for you. Look at me there, waiting away, wondering why you're not there. So that's over at journeystocyber.com, link in the comment or the description down below. Other than that, guys, hey, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to hear that you have passed your exam. Thanks, guys. See ya.